All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's go. Hello, 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 hello. What is good? What is good, guys and gals? Johnny here, Whiskey Tango Sharp Coating. I appreciate y'all. You know that. You knows that, right? I say it a lot. I know I do. But I just want you to know. I just want you to know. I wonder if I should quit coding and start singing. Let me know in comments below. Let's go. Let's go. Quickly, I'm going to finish up with mod stuff, guys and gals. Let me check the stream. Let's go. Yes, we are good. All right. All right. We're golden. Golden like the Golden Girls. Let's go. I love it. I love it. Okay. Finish up with the mod stuff so that we could get to learning and growing. Guys and gals, you know I appreciate you. Every single one of you. Awesome and legendary people. I wish you all the best in life. Let's go! One love. Turn it up. Turn it up. Yeah. Lurkers, twerkers, sandwich making workers, thank you for stopping by the live stream. You guys are much appreciated. Whoever you are that's dropping in consistently, you're so awesome. You're awesome. You truly are. I mean that. Committed. I love the commitment. It's dedication. I love it. I love it. It has been turning up a little bit over here in Twitch land. You guys are great. You guys are great. Guys on my supporters and followers on YouTube, I love you all too. You know this. Okay? Okay? You know this, right? I do care, okay? I gave you, guys and gals, such a long chance. More than enough chance, okay? Twitch over here, they're killing it with the views. They're killing it, guys. They're destroying it. Well, I say that in a positive way. Oh, yes. The love over on Twitch is great. You guys and gals are awesome. Every single one of you. YouTube viewers as well, okay? I don't know. It's not you guys on YouTube. It's probably just YouTube in general. I don't know. Not enough sharing, not enough caring. Guy can only take it for so long, you know? So, anyways, enough of that. Followers, supporters, you guys all know. I appreciate you, okay? You know this, right? I'm not saying anything negative towards any of you guys and gals because, you know, I love you, okay? I love you as the person that you are. Truly do. Your commitment, your viewership is great. Every single one of you. Thank you so much. You guys and gals, keep it going. You keep it going. Keep it up. Keep it up. You keep this train going. This train rolling. You're the fuel for the train, I'm telling you. I'm enjoying doing this. I truly am. I truly am. Teaching and just, you know, grinding code and helping you guys and gals learn. If you're new to coding or whatever, it's great to have you. Totally is. Okay? It's great to have you. I'm going to do my best to help you learn along smoothly, easily. Make it an easy process for you. I will explain things. I'll do my best to kind of give good examples and explain without over explaining, because I probably tend to do that sometimes. I do apologize, and I appreciate your patience and understanding also. Thank you for understanding. Again, if you guys get it, if there's a certain section of the video or whatever that you're watching and you get it and you understand, feel free to skip forward. It's not going to hurt my feelings. That just tells me you are dedicated to learning, committed, and you want to learn. You just want to keep moving forward. That's what I'm doing here. Here to help you guys and gals learn. If you are new and you're just dropping in, checking it out for the first time, I recommend you follow the series. YouTube actually is stepping it up. I don't know, they got this courses thing now. It's a courses tab. Normally have like a playlist tab. They have a courses tab. They actually recommended it to me. Thank you, YouTube, for that. So I was kind of doing a little bit of organizing. So look for the courses tab. That is great. Hopefully it'll help. Over here on Twitch, I'm obviously doing it live here on Twitch. You guys are like, yeah, right? I'm going to say all my viewers are awesome. Okay, every single one of you. I don't care which platform you're on. Okay, but you guys are doing great on Twitch, I'm telling you. The views, man, thank you. So awesome. And the growth as well. Quick shout outs to, the followers over the last couple of months, and Don to the Wand for the raids and the supports. I know I haven't been getting over to your guys' channels to say hello or anything, just video editing. Man, if I had my own mod, I tend to, anyways, I don't mean to go on a tangent, but I got the mod stuff, I got the editing, I got to watch the videos, look for mistakes, because I don't always catch the things that I say when I'm teaching, right? I want to make sure I'm giving you guys all good information. Hopefully I am. But slowly been, all the videos have been kind of transitioning from, I export them from Twitch, because I think they're only good for a week on Twitch, if I'm right. Until I get partnership, that'll change. But right now I'm just a nobody. And so they do get exported over on YouTube, because I don't want to lose them, you feel me? It's time, work, time and energy, time and energy. It's all my time, it's all my energy, right? And plus I want you guys and gals to be able to continue learning, new learners, people that are wanting to learn, right? I'm working on the teaching a little bit more, trying to be better instructor / teacher. Okay, hoping to help you. Again, it's great to have you guys and gals. If you want to follow the series, I recommend you start from the beginning. Okay, these are just all details I got to kind of go through every video, just in case somebody drops by for the first time and they want to learn. You got to follow, you got to go. We're going gradually. Start at first video. We're going step by step here, climbing up in a linear fashion along the hypotenuse of a triangle. And that's how you're going to be winner, winner, chicken dinner. And you'll get to have winner, winner, all day chicken breakfast on Sundays, because you're a winner. I love those that watch and are committed, and every single one of you is still supporting the channel. You guys are better, I'm telling you. Because, well, you're not quitters, right? The quitters, I really, those that quit, I don't care to say it. I don't want them back. Quit, don't come back. If you think you're hurting my feelings, you're not. I'm used to being alone, okay? Not gonna hurt my feelings. If you don't like the content, it is what it is. Yeah, you're not going to keep me down. I have great viewership and support. I find anytime somebody quits, there always ends up being 2 new people that follow. So I'm always still moving forward. Slowly, gradually, but it's still progression. And I love it. Okay, so yeah, I just got to say all that. Again, this is a class/lecture. That's what we're doing here. A class/lecture. Okay. If you're looking for that 5-minute video on how to create variable names, well, you found the wrong channel. Because we're doing more over here. Much, much more. It's just redonk to me. The lamest of shorts or videos gets the most views. It's just redonk. Anyways, whatever. Those that do watch, man, I love it. I say it a lot, but you know I appreciate you. I'm going to drop in some quotes quickly into chat. If you're part of the live stream, you will see it. A lot of it is kind of just support. Just to keep you positive, motivated, learning and growing, staying focused. Okay? Please let me know if you are like having any difficulties or challenges. Okay? Like you're not gonna, if you don't ask the question, you're not gonna learn. There's no such thing as a stupid question. There's a such thing as stupid people that don't ask questions. Okay? All right? I have a different thinking process, not norm to everybody else. So yeah. Educated and country! Yeah, that's right. I had to keep my inside voice inside. Okay, carrying on. Keeping you guys positive and motivated, right? I'm here to support, here to help. I want you to be successful at this. I do. I want you to succeed. Okay? Because you're all winners. If you're inquisitive and you want to learn, again, this is a little bit of motivation, positivity for you guys and gals, right? The fact that you want to learn and that you're inquisitive says a lot about your character, okay? It does. Okay, I think that's it for quotes. That's just to kind of keep chat kind of, I don't know. I know I spam it a little bit, but I mean, it's better than there's nothing. Hey, it's great to have you. Thank you for stopping by. Here's a life tip for you, okay? If you're a first-time follower, or I mean viewer. Lurkers and twerkers and sandwich making workers. You know I love ya. Let's go. I have to finish up. I want to get rid of this and we're going to get to learning. Again, you guys, your viewership means a lot. It truly does. Okay, I'm not taking you for granted. Not one of you. Yeah. It is great to have you. Okay, one more thing. I'm almost done. Thank you for your patience. I'm my own mod here, so you know, gotta do something, right? And it's for your reading pleasure. Guess keep you positive, okay? Keep you motivated. Those of you that have been following the series and stuff and following along, man, it's great. It truly is. Okay, here we go. Last quote, and I can close this program or WordPad. See you, WordPad. We'll see you tomorrow. Love you. This is for you guys and gals, and we're going to get to learning, okay? I did want to shout out quickly, yes, over the last 2 months. I almost forgot. I kind of jump around a lot, but I did remember. Thank you, Don to the Wand, for the raids. You're awesome, my guy. Ducky, Wicked Stat, Con Papa's 9, Slow Motions, Amir Hassan 23, Kenny M Gasse, A Music, Chama _ 117, Rough Riders Gaming, and Low Level RS. Thank you for the support. You guys finding the content and just watching it, that means a lot. Your support, hitting the likes or the follow buttons, the follow button. Again, it's you guys and gals that keep this train going, right? You are the fuel. You are the fuel. I wish you all the best. And yeah, I mean that. I want you guys to be successful. I want you to succeed. Okay. That's it. It's time to learn, guys and gals. Let's get to this. Throw on the old thinking cap. Flick the switch in the old cranium brainium. Right? Leave the dunce caps for all the dunces, and let's learn. Okay. So, we have been, well, we're into loops now. We're doing loops. We're doing loops, boys and girls. They're not so bad. We're going to get into doing while loops. As a matter of fact, we did last stream, we were working on some while loops. There are different types of loop systems, if you will. There are. So we're going to try out a few. Just, it's just more tools in your line coding toolbox. That's what it is, guys and gals. It depends on what kind of program you want to create, what kind of output or result you want, what kind of stuff do you want to happen, right? So there's so many various tools that you can use with line coding. You don't have to use everything. There's a lot to learn, yes, but you don't need to necessarily use all the tools, right? You kind of just pick what's the best that you can use that'll give you the results that you want, okay? In a nutshell. Let's go over a little bit of reading. Let's see. Let's talk about maybe some definitions of loops here, just to kind of get that over that. I'll just bring this across here. Sorry, don't mean to flashbang you. Definition of a while loop. Hey, I gotta do this because it's kind of funny, actually. All right, definitional while loop in C++. That's what we're doing over here, guys and gals. This is the coding language we're learning. The while loop, C++, is a type of loop that will first evaluate a condition. Just a quick ad, guys and gals. Okay, a couple of things. Let's say you're new to learning coding and you're wondering which language you should learn. Okay, this is kind of my advice. I don't know all the languages myself. I do C# as well. I feel that C++ is the more deeper thinking, more intensive language because you're kind of working direct with the CPU. You're learning about what happens under the hood a little bit more. You're learning kind of all the magic that happens kind of behind the scenes when you run a program. You get a more deeper understanding, I feel. Okay? You don't need to learn C first to learn C++. C and C++, a lot of the theory, majority of everything's the same. The theory, the logic, the data types. It's all the same. The difference between C and C++, well, basically it's the syntax, right? Or your statements, right? So essentially you would have to learn a new language. So it's kind of like learning a new language. Now, I don't know if C is eventually going to phase out. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I'm sure it's still going strong. C++ is the first language I learned. So my thinking is, if you can learn C++, you can learn anything. I'm telling you. That's what I feel. I went into C# like it was nothing. C# was just, it was easy, right? It gets easier. So for me, like, I'm kind of a little bit stubborn, OCD and all those things. So I'm not scared of going and learning something that's harder, or maybe the hardest, or maybe considered the hardest, right? I don't know if it's the hardest. I don't. It's challenging for sure. It has its challenges. But I feel if you learn the hardest thing first, anything else is just going to be gravy on your potatoes. I'm telling you. Okay? I'd rather things get easier than harder. Makes sense? Right? Not a fan of people that take the easy way out. I'm just going to say that, just being real. Okay? They're only cheating themselves if you really think about it. Okay, let's continue. That's kind of just a little bit of advice. So let's see. If the condition is true, the program will run the code inside of the while loop. It's kind of what I was going over yesterday. It will then go back and reevaluate the condition, right? So it goes back into the test condition area, right? Between the brackets, parentheses, whatever you want to call it. Every time the condition is true, the program will perform the code inside the loop. So the block of code, all the same, okay? Like other loops, the do while loop, we're going to do whiles as well, guys and gals. So it's another type of loop. Is used to loop through a code until the given condition is satisfied. You'll see, we'll do examples. It means that the loop will only terminate if it evaluates the specified condition to be false. So basically, it's like, do this until I tell you to stop, sort of thing. This can come in handy when you want to run a piece of code multiple times. Okay, while loop is used to repeat a specific block of code an unknown number of times until a condition is met. And I know you can see for loops and loop iteration after that. It's okay for you to kind of pause and read it. You'll be kind of ahead of the game a little bit, but we're going to eventually get into that. And we do have an example of a for loop. And I break it down into its 3 individual parts. You kind of got to see it ahead of time. A little bit hard for me to hide it from you, but there it is. We will go over it. We'll get into for loops. Stay tuned. All right. Here we go. So back to the course outline, the course program I'm following. It's an older course outline, if you will, but the way I look at it, the theory and the logic and pretty much anything in related to coding in general is all the same. There are going to be different nuances, of course, but I'll show you the differences. Okay, let's see, introducing, continue, and break. Okay, so a couple of concepts we're going to learn here. Let me just scroll this up, kind of change the information for you. At times you want to return to the top of a while loop before the entire set of statements in the while loop is executed. The continue statement jumps back to the top of the loop. Excuse me, guys. At other times, you might want to exit the loop before the exit conditions are met. The break statement immediately exits the while loop. So it's kind of like if you see a break, it's like break out of it. Okay, so basically it escapes out of the block of code, essentially. All right, and the program executes, resumes after the closing brace, right? So if there's any code below it, it'll continue, right? We'll do examples, you'll see. So we have the one we're going to do. It demonstrates the use of these statements. This time the game has become more complicated. Okay, if you're watching yesterday's stream, you would have seen that game, so we're going to kind of advance it a little bit here. The user is invited to enter a small number and a large number, a skip number and a target number. It's kind of like a two-person fun game they could kind of play together, it seems. The small number will be incremented by 1, and the large number will be decremented by 2. So that's what we did yesterday. Okay. The decrement will be skipped each time the small number is a multiple of the skip. Okay, well, we'll see when we write the code. The game ends if small becomes larger than the large number. Okay, so again, the large number is going to be decreasing, right? And the small number is going to be increasing gradually, right? If the large number reaches the target exactly, a statement is printed and the game stops. The user's goal is to put in a target number for the large number that will stop the game. All right, let's write up some code. We'll build this. So everything's still here right now. So if I was to run, we entered. What the? Do I have a break in this? Hold up. Let's see. Just kind of looking at the code here. What do we have anyways? User enters a number, then it adds together. Oh yeah, now I recall. Yeah, this was it's kind of like a quick calculator, to be honest. That's what this is. It's different to what we did with that game. Okay, just a quick calculator. It's only 5 values that we're entering, but I guess it's kind of a little quick calculator, right? We could increase. So when it stops I'm only allowed to enter 5 numbers, right? 5 is the max value, right? So n is less than the max value, so we're only allowed to enter 5, right? That's when it stops. I could increase that anytime right here. So if I want to enter maybe up to 12, I'll put 11. It's always +1. You got to kind of think of +1. You must get used to that, because when we get into arrays, you kind of have to think of +1 all the time. It's n+1. That's kind of the habit I got into. I call it n+1 in my brain. n+1. Okay, so that's what I do. So then I don't have to use 2 conditions or 2, right? Because if I put 2, the program, when it runs, it has to kind of compare both of them, right? So in this case, it's a little bit faster in microseconds or milliseconds. Hard for us to tell, but imagine it's quicker, right? Because it only has one comparison, right? One sign to compare with. Comparison operators. Anyways, I'm going to clean this up. That's the code for that. We're going to get rid of that. And we're going to create some new variables. So what do we have here? We have unsigned short, small. Okay, I kind of have to start all over again, it seems. Okay, I'll just start from scratch. unsigned short, and whoops, and small, I can't remember what I used yesterday, val. We'll make it 0, and then we're gonna have 3 longs. Okay, and large, let's see, longs, large, num. I'm gonna copy this, go twice, and we just gotta rename to skip number. I'm just gonna call it skip num, and actually large val. Let's be consistent at least. Skip num and target num. All right, and we're gonna have 1 const. It's an unsigned short. And it's going to be max small. Okay. Six five 535. Okay, you guys should know already. You should have an understanding of the data types by now. Okay, I don't want to keep going over it again and again. We're moving forward, right? We're going to keep moving forward for those that are following the series. They've already put in the time and they understand. So I'm going to keep moving forward. If you missed that, I kindly, I love you. I kindly ask for you to kind of just go back in the series and just find that specific area on, you know, data types and such. All right. It's great to have you, and I'll see you in the future. I'll see you in the future. The future. That's when I say, hey, wow, great to have you. Welcome back. It's great to see you again. Let's go. That's awesome. You're back. I love it. You know I love it. Truly do. Need some more coffee? I'm going to try my best not to drink it all. Like, I'm just under 12 fluid ounces and already got a sad face. 20 fluid ounces is not enough for a whole 2-hour stream. I know I could go run and get coffee and stuff, but I don't want to do that to you guys. I want to keep things going. All right. Let's continue. So we're going to do user prompts now, okay? That's what I call user prompts or user prompting, whatever you want to call it. Standard, CO, enter a small number. Again, I could give the user that heads up again. I almost wish I saved this from yesterday so I don't have to keep typing it, but that's okay. What did I have again? Integer range, something to that effect. And then I had min val 0 to max value. Oh, wow, max value, max val. I hope you guys are okay with that. 65,535. Then it gives the user kind of an idea, right? What's my limit? All right. User, please enter a small value. Okay. And I always leave, I don't do an enter here because I like the cursor flashing beside this line here. Okay, you'll see that when you're when we're in the console. This is the way to do it. Okay, now we have to store that into memory by using cn, and we take the variable that we want to use for storing, and it's that one. Okay, and then we're going to just copy this, and now we're going to go larger value, I guess, and we're going to store that in large value. Following along? Pretty easy peasy so far, right? So now we're going to enter a skip number. I got to try to understand this game. We haven't really played this game or ran this game. This would be kind of fun for you, right? If you want to write this up, you could kind of, you know, let's say you're living with your parents or a roommate or whatever your situation is. And you could go, hey, look, check this out, a little game that I made. And, you know, maybe have fun with it, right? So hopefully whoever you're going to invite to play the game doesn't mind playing games, okay? Don't invite somebody that hates games. They're not going to be fun to play with, all right? They're just a downer. They're just a downer! Okay? Find somebody that's going to love what you do, all right? That'll appreciate your efforts. Okay, so now we're going to enter... we're going to have to test this. Try it out. Please enter a skip number. Just call it a skip number, sure, and that's going to be skip num. Make sure you store it into proper variables. Don't forget to update that, guys and gals. Okay, and then we're going to enter a target number. Okay, we'll see how it goes. The best way to figure it out is just to put in some numbers. Okay, and then we could have a standard cout. Standard. I know this is kind of repetitive to write all the time. It's best if you kind of just keep one of these somewhere. Like, I don't know. I already have one right here, actually. I could just copy this one, right? So, that way you're not having to type it all the time. It's just quicker, right? Tips and tricks. We're inside the main. Okay. All right. No global variables. We're not doing any functions. Everything's inside the main. Okay. Just to be clear. And okay, we're good. All right. It's great to have you. Appreciate you being here. Let's continue. I don't know what you guys want me to do for excitement. Like, it's kind of hard for me to do backflips and cartwheels, right? We're just writing code. What do you expect? What do you expect, Bob? Unbelievable. We're learning over here. That's what we're doing. While small number is less than large number. Okay, we're going to add in some sanity checking. And we're going to use, right? It's an and means the left side and the right side of the and must be 1. Okay, and while it is also less than our max. Oh, look at me. I got to use that today. I was already ahead of the game doing that. It's wild. Okay, well that's because, you know, I've written a bit of code. I have. I kind of know what I'm doing. Kind of. Just a little bit. I got it. I must. All right, I got to speed things up here. All right, so if, now we're going to have an if statement. and no other ifs or else's. I'm just going to do a double if. No else's, it's a double if. You can do this. Okay, so if small val modulo the skip val, okay, it's got to equal to something, right? I've explained this, right? This is a calculation which returns, well, it's not a return type, but it does return, there is a value floating in limbo, and if it's equal to 0, it'll go into this. Okay, makes sense? I hope so. Skipping on, we'll see when we run the program what's happening, okay? And then we're going to return small value, and then we're going to have a standard end line. Okay, and then continue. Oh, look at that. Nice, we're using continue. That's it. For continues and breaks, that's it. That's all you do. Okay? A lot of times, as a matter of fact, you'll sometimes see them. I know with switch cases like break, you'll see it there instead. Okay? That is a legal statement, because really what we're doing is going enter. That's all we're doing. Okay? Small modulo skip number. You should know what modulo does, guys and gals. Well, I'll just put a little note here for you, I guess. And see out skipping on, and then I'll just go dot dot dot. The small val, it'll print out, and then it'll continue. Okay, continue. Where's that part on continue? The continue statement jumps back to the top of the loop. Okay? The continue statement jumps back to the top of the loop. Okay? There you go. Notes for you. And if large number, okay, just so you can see everything still, if large value is equal to, this is just another condition, right? If it's true, it'll go into it. Otherwise, it just kind of keeps going. Target. Okay, so we're just comparing the large value to the target. If the large value is exactly equal to, right, it'll go into the if loop. All right, and then I'm just gonna copy this because I'm being a little bit lazy, but all I need is a string literal. Target has been reached. Something like that. Okay, that's all I need. And then this is where we break out. Okay, we're using a break. Break again is this. Okay? There you go. Guess I could have finished that. Okay? And there's the closing brace it's talking about, right? I call it the sister. Closing brace. That's what they're referring to right there. All right, so, and then outside the if, we're still inside the while loop. Take notice, right? This is the brother and this is the sister for the while loop. Okay? All of this is inside. Okay? It'll only come inside the while loop if these are true. Right? Both have to be true. And then we're going to take the large And where's the increment? Oh yeah, the increment's right here for the small. Okay, we're doing it right at the beginning. And then this is where we go minus equals 2. Alright, you should know what I did there. I did explain that. And then right here, of course, is right, the end of our while loop. And then outside the while loop, okay, we're outside of it. Standard, cout. Let's see some returns. So new line, small, what did I call it? Small num, small val, small value. And then return, of course, small value. Oh, don't forget my overloaded operators for my O stream. And then large with a space, large value, colon, space. What did I do? How's that even possible, Batman? I'm just gonna go like this. That's wild. There it is. It's almost like it was like not there, non-existent. This is wild. I've never seen that before. Okay, I went backwards. I went undo, undo, undo. I don't want any weird glitchiness. Okay, and then we're going to return whatever is stored in memory. And I just need an end line. Because I'm being a lazy typer. What did I do, Batman? There. Okay. All right. That's it. So at the end of it, we're just going to print whatever value is in memory. Again, it's going to print out the most recently stored value in memory, right? Small value and large value is going to change while it loops, okay? While it's doing its thing under the hood, right? The small value keeps changing, large value keeps changing. Once we break out of this while loop, it'll print those values. Okay, let me build it. And let's see what happens. I honestly don't know what target val or skip val to put in. Thankfully I get some values. Okay, so enter a small number, 2. Okay, that's a small number. Enter a large number. It's not very large, but we'll enter 20. So you want a number in between 2 and 20, which makes sense, right? I would assume. And enter a target number. So you got to kind of guess, right, where it's going to meet in the middle. It's not going to meet exactly in the middle, but you can kind of guess it, right? So, I don't know, we'll say 6. Okay? Boom. Skipping on 4, skipping on 8. Small value, I needed a space there. So small value ended up being 10 and large value ended up being 8. Which is true. Okay, so I'm going to read the output here. Let's get a breakdown. In this play, the user lost. Okay? Small became larger than large. Right? As we can see. Let me just put a space there. I thought I had a space. Apparently I must have deleted it or something. Okay, I'm just going to run it again. Okay. Same values, 2, 20. Obviously you can go higher than 20, right? But just for understanding the game, right? Okay. So it's a little bit of a fun game. Again, the range you could go is from 0 to... I got to double check that because what's actually... It could be larger because we're using longs. So, to be honest, I could probably keep them all shorts. They don't need to be long. I'll show you what I mean after. Let's talk about this. Okay, online. Okay, so let's see. Small number became larger than the large before the target number of 6 was reached. Okay. Okay, that's what happened. Right? We are using a small range here between 2 and 20. So a little bit limited, but that's okay. So you're kind of guessing, right? So again, they say small became larger than large, right? As you can see right here, before the target number of 6 was reached. Okay. The wild conditions are tested. If small continues to be smaller than large, and if small hasn't overrun the maximum value for a small int, the body of the while loop is entered. The small value is taken modulo the skip value, right? It modulos the skip value. If small is a multiple of skip, right? You guys remember I know a lot of you kind of cringe when we talk about math. I love math, so man, if I could have another 100 years in life to do mathematics, punish me. Punish me with doing mathematics. I will take it on. Because I love math. Anyways, multiples. You should know what a multiple means. If small is a multiple of skip, the continue statement is reached and the program execution jumps to the top of the loop back, right? Again, it's a continue. It jumps back to the top of the loop, right? If you want to see it, right? So here we go. Continue jumps back to the top of the loop. Okay? Where are we? This effectively skips over the test for the target and the decrement of large. Okay, makes sense? Because you can see here, we actually did skip over it here at this one. That's pretty much when it ends, right? As soon as we skipped over the target. Okay? This effectively skips over the test for the target and the decrement of large. Kind of neat little game, neat little program. I like it. Target is tested against the value for large. If they are the same, the user has won. A message is printed and the break statement is reached and executed. Okay, so let's look. Right? So it'll print out target is reached, right? Obviously that didn't happen in this case, right? It didn't even go into that if loop or if statement, right? Because this is not true, right? This is 0. As long as this is 0, we don't even go inside of it. This causes an immediate break out of the while loop, and that's what it would do, right? So and then it would just basically continue here. But anyways, both continue and break should be used with caution. You will see break, guys and gals, when we get into doing switch cases. Break is actually a must. You must use break. Continue is something I haven't really used much in programming, but again, it's just another tool in your line coding toolbox. Okay, there are I'm sure you could find somewhere in your application or any application that you create where you can use it. All right, obviously we're using it inside of an if statement to make it continue. Right? You probably want that kind of condition. I'm going to close this, so hopefully you get the idea. Just go like this so you can see the variables and such again. All right, both continue and break should be used with caution. They are the next most dangerous commands after go to. break is something that's fine in switch statements. You kind of need it, right? You're breaking out of your block of code is what you end up doing. So it's basically like an escape. Escapes out of it. I'm out of here. Programs that suddenly change direction are harder to understand. And liberal use of continue and break can render even a small while loop readable. The use of that one word was kind of an oxymoron. But anyways, a need for breaking within a loop often indicates that the terminating condition of the loop has not been set up with the appropriate Boolean expression. Oh, Booleans. Essentially, it's kind of like a Boolean in the sense, right? If it's 0, it doesn't go in. If it's 1, it'll go in. In a sense, it's kind of like that. It is often better to use an if statement within a loop to skip some lines than to use a breaking statement. Okay. The continue statement. Continue causes a while. And then we got do while or for loop to begin again at the top of the loop. All right, so we got some examples. Let's see. I'll just kind of, I'm going to screenshot this so you can kind of see what I read. Just so you have a little bit of an idea. Okay. And then I got another statement I'll share. Okay. And we're going to continue. We're going to get into examining while true loops. Okay, while true. The condition tested in a while loop can be any valid C++ expression. As long as that condition remains true, the while loop continues. You can create a loop that never ends by using the value true for the condition to be tested. So what they've said there, I'm going to clean this up. Okay. You guys can kind of, that's my scope. Yeah. So I'm going to, right here. I'm going to go like that. Maybe I need user prompt again. Oh, no, I don't. Okay. And then I'm going to get rid of these as well. Okay. There we go. All right. Continuing on, as long as that condition remains true, right? Okay, so like if statement, for example. Okay, recall that this is our test condition. And remember when I said it's always going to be true if you put any number in there? Like I could put -100. That's always going to be true because it's a non-zero. 0 is the only thing that makes it false. Make sense? Okay, I could put just 0. I could. If I kept this as 1, it's always going to be true. It's always going to keep going into the if statement, right? Make sense? And obviously 1 is true. Okay, it's like think of it like an on-off switch. It's either on or it's off. You could do a mathematical calculation, right? 10 divided by 0. Well, what do you think that's going to give you? Right? Or 10 minus 9. Right? What answer am I going to get? All right, let's continue. You get the idea though, right? So you would create basically a never-ending loop, right? And you don't want that. You want to be able to end or break out of a loop. Okay? So let's do a basic while loop just to show you. Okay? Let's see. What do they got? Oh, okay. I'm going to try it. I don't know if I like it, but I'm going to try it. Okay? We'll test to see what... Now we're going to just use int. Doesn't matter. I could use an unsigned short. So counter. We're going to just call it counter, and it's going to equal to 0. Okay? Declare, initialize. Declare, initialize. We're inside the main, right? We're inside the main, guys, gals. And then I do everything inside my empty scope. All right? I don't have to. I could delete all this. I don't need it, right? I just wanted to show you some, so you had some separation, right? You know where everything's happening. Okay? Everything outside is just, happy information. Remember, guys and gals, don't forget to buy me a coffee. Hit the like button on the way out. And remember, sharing is caring. Okay, let's keep going. I want to kind of get through this section and get onto some new stuff. While... And what they basically have is true. Okay, so that's essentially a Boolean. I have talked about Booleans, I hope, in the past, guys and gals. I believe I have. Let me just to make sure, just to make certain. Let's see if I can find that section in my quick C++ quick reference guide, which is now at 162.5 characters, 5,000, 162,500 characters and growing. That's 162,000, guys, gals. Okay, where's my bool? Bool, where are you? Boolean. In char double float char bool. Here we go. Okay, not really a lot to it, but Boolean. Boolean is yet another data type. Just think true or false. Simply put, a Boolean variable can only have two possible values, true or false. Boolean values declared true are assigned the value of 1. And false values are assigned the value of 0. Note that we are not referring to binary numbers here. Okay? Whoops. Think of it like an on and off switch. Alright, so basically this is 1 right now. If I put true, that basically is the same as me going 1. Okay, guys and gals. So it's always going to be true is the point. Plus counter. I just do pre-increment. That's just my habits from now. It's the way I do things. What did I do, Batman? There we go. If counter. Oh, this is how it does it. Okay. Aha! Yes, makes sense. Okay, I see it now. I wasn't looking at this part, so I was immediately thinking in my brain going, wow, this is going to be stuck in an infinite loop. And just what they said earlier, which makes sense. Where did I read that? It is often better to use an if statement within a loop to skip some lines than to... Okay, well, that's what they said, but I'm thinking of it in that sense. Using the break here. So break. And if it's greater than 10, we'll just hard code a value. I could go, I don't know, int unsigned short break num equals 10. Okay? And then I could go like that. All right? And then we're going to, outside the while loop, we're going to go standard. This is a little short program. And then we're going to return counter. And counter. And standard end line. Okay, simple and sweet. All right, so if counter is greater than our break number, break. Okay, and remember the counter is going to keep incrementing, right? As long as it's true, it's going to keep looping, right? It's always going to keep looping if it's true, right? And it'll test this as well. So let's run it. There we go. That was nice and quick, and that's the result, right? Counter stopped at 11. Okay, so to understand, right? Let's say counter is 10. Okay. No, is that right? If counter is 10, 10 is greater than break number, which is true, but counter is equal to 10. 10. If it's 11, that's when it kind of does the break. As soon as it becomes 11, it breaks. But what about 10? Because 10 is equal to 10. What about the equal to part, right? That's my question. Because 10, well, it's true because 10 is not greater than 10. And technically speaking, that is true, right? If you think about it. I know it doesn't logically make sense, but because in our minds, our mathematical minds go, well, 10 is equal to 10. It's not greater than 10, which is obvious. But if it's 10, when it's 10, it gets into here, it checks it. Well, it's still true because technically speaking, it's not greater than our break number, right? For me, myself, just for my own brain, I would put an equal to, but it still works, right? And then it returns 11. As soon as it becomes 11 is greater than our break number, it breaks out and then just prints 11. That's why it's printing 11, guys and gals. That's it in a nutshell. I don't need to overanalyze, over-explain that, right? Pretty straightforward, right? Lecture today, I keep forgetting to update this. I was looking for this that day. We're continuing with loops. I'll just go like this. Here we go. Okay, there we go. While statements, right? All right, let's continue. Keep this moving. Again, if you guys and gals need a break and it's not live, just give it a quick pause. Go grab your coffee, have your quick break. It's great to have you. You know it is great to have you. You know I appreciate you. I'm always saying it. Okay? And yeah, and it's great to have you. Oh, look, I'll see you soon. I'll see you in the future. All right, let's keep going. The program works, but it isn't pretty. Okay? I mean, it does work, right? What else do they say? This is a good example of using the wrong tool for the job. The same thing can be accomplished by putting the test of the counter's value where it belongs, in the while condition. External loops, such as while true, yeah. See, I wouldn't do this, right? I wouldn't do this. It's not good to do that. You need something to break out. If it wasn't for this break here, guys and gals, man, it would just keep running. Okay? Because while it's always going to be true, right? This is bad. This is no good. No, this is no bueno. No bueno. You want to use comparisons or something, right? You got to have something to break out of it. So reading on here, that's right. It's true. That's the wrong tool right there. Wrong tool. Okay? You're using a screwdriver as a hammer. Or is it the other way around? Either way, no bueno. Let's see. External loops such as while true can cause your computer to hang if the exit condition is never reached. Use these with caution and test them thoroughly. Yeah, just don't go while true. Don't even leave it as a 1. Just don't. You're okay if you use a 0 or that's fine. If you don't want to ever go into it. But you just got code that's typed there doing nothing because it'll never enter it, right? But yeah, you want to do comparison, right? Test condition. That's why they're called test conditions. You're testing values or comparing values to another value. Okay? I could even go not true, right? It's the same as false. I know I've been wanting to share that with you guys and gals, but nots, that's what nots do. Not is like a switch. If it's not true, then it's equal to false. If it's not false, then it's equal to true. Right? It's just the opposite. Not is like a switch. Okay? You can think of it that way. You're switching it from true to false. You're switching this from false to true. Okay, C++ gives you many ways to accomplish the same task. The real trick is picking the right tool for the particular job. Okay? Always use a hammer when you're knocking nails. Okay, do's and don'ts. Do use while loops to iterate while a condition is true. Do exercise caution when using continue and break statements. Okay, exercise caution. Do be certain your loop will eventually end. Okay, make sure of that. Don'ts. Don't use the go-to statement. Okay, shared it with you. I showed you guys and gals. Doesn't hurt to have that knowledge, right? And don't forget the difference between continue and break. Continue goes to the top, break goes to the bottom. That makes sense, right? What they mean is this is the bottom, right? Break goes to the bottom. And if it's a continue, well, it goes back to the top, okay? And just keeps going, keeps cycling. Implementing do while loops. Okay, now we're going to do while loops. Okay, I don't know if they're going to be complicated, but exploring do while loops. All right, Let's get rid of this. And we'll continue. It is possible that the body of a while loop will never execute. The while statement checks its condition before executing any of its statements. Okay, so what they mean is, right, at the beginning, it does its check first, right? Okay. It goes in and it does the check first before it goes into the body. Okay, following along? Now, if the condition evaluates false, the entire body of the while loop is skipped, right? So if this is 0, right, then it just skips to wherever the next line is. Just continues. Right? It never enters it. Just remember that. If it's false or 0, it doesn't go inside. Okay, it's kind of like a lock. Stay out. All right. Let's do one where it demonstrates skipping the body of a while loop while the condition is false. Okay. Let's do some testing here, okay? We're going to still have counter. And that's it. We don't need this anymore. As a matter of fact, can our counter be an unsigned short? Let's have a look. Okay. Let's clarify. Let's confirm. Unsigned short. Unsigned short. Yep. 0. 0 is inclusive. All right. And I don't need this. Okay, so we're gonna, I don't know, let's just see something here. Okay. All right, we're fine. We're gonna keep going here. Man, time flies when you're having fun. Standard, see out. And how many hellos? Okay. How many hellos? I was gonna say hello to somebody, but you know, you guys are watching, and that's cool. That's fine. Cool. And then we're gonna get what? Standard CN counter. Okay. Oh yeah, okay. All right, so we're gonna get the user to change the value. All right, fair enough. CN. And we're gonna go counter. So we're actually making the user change that value versus doing an increment operator. Okay, while counter is greater than 0, okay, there's our test condition. While it's great, right? Anytime, right now it's 0, okay? So I guess technically speaking, it would still be true because 0 is equal to 0, but technically speaking, it would still be true, right? Because yeah, I imagine it would be, right? It doesn't logically make sense, I know. That's why the equal to makes more sense, right? Because we know 0 is equal to 0. Anyways, let's just continue. Standard, see out, hello, okay? Hello. Let me just go like this. There we go. And we'll put a \n at the end of it. And then, oh, now we're subtracting our counter. Okay. So minus, minus, right? Obviously, if you want to go up, you're doing plus, plus. What's the opposite of plus, plus? Minus, minus. I don't need to explain that, right? Okay. Standard CO. Counter out is what? Counter. Okay, whatever. Hello counter is counter. And I guess I could put a end line, doesn't matter. Just for practice, we'll keep doing it. There we go. Okay. Build. And so it'll print out depending on what number that the user enters, right? So let me fix this. And I could do the same thing. I could go standard cout integer range. I should just keep this and not delete it. Min val 0 to max val 65535 and bop, and there. Okay. And I got a syntax. Yes, right here. It's almost like my brain picked up on it before I even did that. Okay, let's go. All right. So how many hellos? I don't know. Let's do 2. Let's go. Hello counter is 0. Okay. Let's run it again. I could use some more enters, but I don't know. Let's go 5. Okay, there we go. How many? This is where I entered. I could use an enter here just to create a gap. Same thing with here. Okay, so it's going to print out how many, whatever the user enters, right? So 5 of them. It printed out 5 hello chats. The user is prompting for a starting value. The starting value is stored in the integer variable counter. The value of counter is tested and decremented in the body of the while loop, right? That's how you change the value of counter, right? Each time it loops. In the output, you can see that the first time through, counter was set to 2. We did that the first time, yeah? And so the body of the while loop ran twice. In this case that you're seeing, we set it to 5. Okay, and it ran 5 times. The second time through, however, the 0 was entered. The value of counter was tested, and the condition was false. Counter was not greater than 0. Okay, technically speaking, right? 0 is not greater than 0. Kind of messes with your brain a little bit, but it becomes false, all right? I'm trying it can mess with your brain a little bit, right? Don't overthink it, guys and gals. Just don't overthink it, you know? As long as you're getting the results. A lot of times they'll say, if it works, don't touch it. Okay? Don't try to make something better when it's already good. You know what I mean? The value of counter was tested. Counter was not greater than 0. The entire body of the while loop was skipped, and hello was never printed. What if you want to ensure that hello is always printed at least once? Okay. It prints out counter 0 because counter is decrementing, right? It's after the printout statement too. As soon as it gets 0, it goes here. 0's greater than 0, well, obviously that's becomes a false, right? Because 0's not greater than 0. I know, doesn't make sense. I know. Okay, but you're kind of comparing a 0 to a 0, right? We know that 1 is greater than 0. We know this. But it's computer. It's the way the computer works, guys and gals, okay? It's just the way it is. All right? So if it's 0, then it becomes 0. Then 0 is the last value stored in counter, right? Because it's subtracting. We put in 5, but it's going minus, 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 minus. Right? It becomes 4, then it becomes 3, then it becomes 2, then it becomes 1, then it becomes 0. When it becomes 0, it breaks out, essentially, and prints out 0. Because 0 is the last known value in memory. Okay, that makes sense? That much makes sense. I know it does. Okay? A lot of times you'll see people with the equal sign. The equal sign makes more sense, right? If 0 is equal to 0, then it's true. Right? That makes sense? If you don't have an equal sign, you're comparing 0. Is 0 greater than 0? I mean, it's obviously not, right? They're the same, but it becomes a 0. That's all you need to be aware of, right? It basically turns it off. Okay, without overanalyzing or over-explaining that, hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, here, let's do a condition. This is a while loop, right? So let's do a condition where they're saying, what if you want to ensure that hello is always printed at least once? So, and that's what they're referring to, right? Let's say you wanted something at least printed once. Okay? What does that mean? The while loop can't accomplish this because the if condition is tested before any printing is done. Okay? Make sense? This is tested before any printing is done. This is the difference between a while and a do while. Okay? I'll leave this here, I guess. So this belongs together. Okay? And I don't know, I'm just going to go like this to create separation. Do something. This is the syntax for a while loop. Do while, and then you have your test condition. Okay, I guess it could be there too. Sometimes a lot of people just keep it in line like that. But that's the syntax. A little bit different, right? You can see where the test condition is sitting, right? So essentially what they're saying is we're going to at least print standard C out once. At least one time. Because it's going to do this before the test. That's the only difference. That's the difference between a while and a do while in a nutshell, guys and gals. That's it. Okay, they do exactly the same thing, right? The only difference is this is guaranteed to print this out first. Okay, maybe you wanted to say hello before in something else, right? Anyways, let's continue. You can, let's see, you can force this issue if an if statement just before blah, 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 force a minimum. But what if the programmer, the kludge, to rhyme with stooge, and ugly and elegant? Kludge, I guess. So if you write bad code, they call it a kludge. Okay, so if you hear that, okay, I'm just going to go, what is a kludge? And basically, if somebody calls your code a kludge, that's what it is. Okay? Ugly and inelegant. In other words, probably not professional. Using do while. The do while loop executes the body of the loop before its condition is tested. You can see it clearly here. I'm showing you the while and I'm showing you the do. Okay? Let me just do this so it kind of creates that separation visually. Okay? Here it tests first before it even does this. Okay? Here it prints first before it tests anything. That's the difference in a nutshell. No, there's no sense over analyzing that. You still end up with the same results. Okay, so let's see, what do they got? How many hellos? We can still get the user to, I'm just going to comment this out. Okay, and I guess I'm going to print this at the end. Yeah. Control X. Okay. Control V. I'm just going to comment that out, right? I basically stole the same thing. Okay, all this is still the same, right? That doesn't change. Do this while counter is greater than 0. And then outside our while loop, right? Or outside our do while, we're going to print out the counter, right? So check it out. And run it, okay? How many hellos? Whoa, we are going backwards here. Hold up. Where that was kind of continuous, okay? Hold up. Yeah. Yeah. Because I entered 2, right? It's always going to print. Do while counter is great. Let me just go over this, okay? Let's try to understand this, guys and gals. In counter, standard C out, everything's the same. Do that. Oh, counter minus minus. That's what I missed, right? That's my bad. Okay, now I see, right? Because that's why I was stuck in it. I'm like, why is this doing this, right? Because that. Don't forget that, guys. I'm seeing it now. Control Shift B. That's how you can be stuck in an infinite loop. That easy. And because I wasn't decrementing counter. Okay, there we go. 2. All right. Whew! Like the previous program, prints the word hello to the console a specific number of times. Unlike the preceding program, however, this program always prints at least once. Not really seeing much of a difference, to be honest. I'm not. Okay, normally, I'm doing whiles, do whiles. Not so common, but it's just another tool in your toolbox. The user is prompted for a starting value, which is stored in the integer variable counter. In the do while loop, the body of the loop is entered before the condition is tested. Okay, I was looking for that print again, right? The hello beforehand, right? On the hello message is printed. Counter hello. I just want to see if there's any difference between what they've typed and what I've typed, and I don't think so. Okay, in counter, how many hellos? C in the counter, then the do. All this is commented out. And then we're going to print out hello. It should print out the hello first, which is so fast, I guess you really don't even see it. So, do, right? That makes sense, right? This is printing first. You got to kind of think a little bit deeper here, guys. You got to kind of just stop. Pull on the reins a little bit. Okay? It's going to print out this first, okay? I don't run this code beforehand, so I'm just kind of figuring it out on the fly as well. It's going to print this first, right? And then whatever the user enters, it gets stored. Okay, that's why we're seeing that first. Okay, and then I'm going to hit enter. It will print the first one out first, then do the test condition. It's kind of hard to see that. We're still getting the exact same output, right? Let's see if I can find... I'm just trying to think. There's got to be a way that we could do this so that you could actually see the difference. Right? I'm kind of doing some forward thinking here a little bit. Okay. Let's see if I can find something on do whiles. Do whiles. Right. Controlled, counter controlled loops. Counter controlled loops. That's kind of what we're doing here. Counter controlled loops. Increment operator. While loops, creating a program where the user enters a value. Yeah, we did that. While loops, counter controlled. We kind of already did that. Sentinel controlled loops. Sentinel controlled. Because there's a couple of different styles. Definition of a sentinel controlled loop is the indefinite repetition loop as the number of repetitions is not known before the loop begins executing. A counter controlled loop is the definite repetition loop as the number of repetitions is known before the loop begins executing. But that's all while loop stuff. We'll I'm looking for a do while, and I'm not seeing one. It's got to be a good example somewhere. I just got some backup stuff I could kind of reflect on if I want to, but I don't see no do while loop section. I'm going to carry on, but the point is it prints this at least first. It prints that first, but it's so quick we can't even tell, right? And then it'll still keep going, right? It's hard to tell because we're just printing it. It's so fast we can't even tell. But this was actually printed out first, then it kind of does its looping. I hope that makes sense, right? In a nutshell, that's kind of what's happening. Okay, but again, I'm just trying to think. I thought I had a good example so that you could clearly see the difference. For loops I'm getting into now. Do whiles, here we go. Okay, all right, do while loops do quite the opposite of while loops. While loops run the test first until it's false. Do while loops run the bits of code first, then it runs the test. Okay? All right. So, the main purpose of do while loops is whenever you have code in the body of do while and you need it to run it at least one time, it's guaranteed to run at least one time. Here's showing a test that is false because it's going to mean to become false as soon as it hits the test. Okay, let's see. Maybe this will work as an example. Let's do something. I want you guys to kind of clearly see. Okay, I'm going to clean all this up. All right, so I'm going to create an integer. Okay, it could be an unsigned, I guess. Unsigned short. I'm just going to use xnum, and it's going to equal to 99. Okay. And then I'm going to go do, and it's all the same thing, while, and I want to test something. See how it fixed it and went up there? It's funny. Okay, and so I'm just going to standard cout that value, okay, just to keep it simple. And then we're going to do a standard end line. We'll see if this kind of makes more sense. Okay, plus plus x num. Okay, so it should print x num first. All right, let's just see. And what's our condition? Well, x is less than. I could have had. We're gonna call it a. What did I call it before? A test. I don't know. Loop break or something. Call it a loop break. It's gonna be 10. It should be a const, I guess. Const. All right, and it's gonna be less than that. Okay. Why is it looking like that? Okay, that's interesting. All right, let me just see what's up. What did I do wrong? Where am I broken here? 65. Almost don't feel like using that. Let me just go like this. I want to see something. What's going on? It's really weird. Where is 65? Oh, I'm seeing it now. Bringing that all back. I see it now, guys. I could tell something was weird because of this. I just put X num. Goodness gracious. Sometimes you have to spend time figuring your own silliness. All right, there. Okay. Here's a test that showing a test that is false. Right? We have 99, which is obviously greater than the loop break, right? Here's how to show it. Okay, this is gonna work. X num is greater than 10, right? We obviously know this, right? So here we go. This is how I could show it. All right, the do while 99. So it's gonna at least print it once. Okay, finally. Oh my goodness. It's almost painful, boys and girls. Almost painful. We did it though. We survived. So I could go something like this, right? You see it now? I knew there had to be a good way to show you. Printing at least once. Okay? Right? Does that make sense? Right? It's going to print it at least once before the test. That's the thing, right? It's going to do this before it does the check. Okay? That's why we see printing at least once and the value 99. Okay, there we go. That's a good example. We are going to move forward from that. I'm going to leave it at that. Like that's a really good example. It's a really good example. And I want to thank Bucky for that. Okay, let's keep moving forward. How are we doing for time? We're almost at that 2-hour mark. I'm going to leave it at that. That's it. That's do while in a nutshell. And that was my best example to show you that it prints at least once. The other examples weren't that good, right? It wasn't clear enough. Okay. And then I'll just kind of share this. I'll snip this share this. Okay. Just some notes. All right, you can practice it if you want. You know, some code for you to write and test. Okay. Moving forward, do. Okay, do's and don'ts. All right, here's the do's and don'ts. Do use do while. Do use do while. When you want to ensure the loop is executed at least once, right? The other examples that I showed you, right, prior, we did the while and then we did the do while. They both did the exact same thing. We still got the exact same output, right? That's why I came up with this example so that you can clearly see that this is printed at least once. This is a good example on showing that. Okay, so with the other way I was showing you, it's just too difficult to be able to see, right? Do use while loops when you want to skip the loop if the condition is false. Do test all loops to be certain they do what you expect. Again, it's up to you if you want to use a while loop or if you want to use a do while loop. It just depends. Do you want something printed first or do you not care? If you don't care, then just use a while loop, right? Just a couple of different tools in your toolbox. That's it. Don't use break and continue with loops unless it is clear what your code is doing. There are often clear ways to accomplish the same task or tasks. Don't use the go-to statement, okay? That's kind of old school, right? The old schoolers are going to know that go-to, great idea at the time, but not so perfect, right? That's why you got all this new code. While loops, do while loops, then eventually we're going to get into for loops, right? They're just better. They're just better, okay? It creates that added security and less bugginess in your code. That's the main goal, right? Smooth flowing code. Looping with the for statement. Okay, that's what we're going to get into next. For statements. Okay, I might actually save that for next video. We're going to get into for statements or for loops. What do they have here? While re-examined. Okay, so they have a while that they're re-examining here. Okay, let me type it up. I put my local variables in the wrong spots. It doesn't necessarily, you can have them inside as well, but I don't know, for some reason I like them above. Okay, so I'm going to change this to, what do I need? I'm going to change this to 5. This is my end here, right? This is what I'm using for an end. And then we're going to have counter again. And counter is going to be equal to 0. Alright. And I'll just finish up with this before we get into for loops. While counter is less than loop break. Maybe this is similar to what I just showed. I don't know. Let's see. Again, I don't run this code beforehand, so the only way to find out is to do the actual testing. I mean, I guess I could sit here and try to analyze it before I type it up. 1, 2, 3, and there we go. Okay, just creating space. I guess 2 spaces is good enough. And then we're gonna go standard out, and \n, and then we're going to go counter again, and we are going to return counter. Kind of the same thing we did before. And end line. And run. Okay, looping, looping, looping. 5 times. Okay, and that's a while loop, right? Just a basic while loop. Okay, it's increasing, remember that. All right, the reason it's doing everything in a linear fashion is because I don't have a \n or an end line. So it puts everything in a linear fashion. You can see, right? This is the first loop, second loop, third loop, fourth loop, fifth loop. Boom. When programming while loops, you often find yourself going through 3 steps: setting up a starting condition, testing to see whether the condition is true, and incrementing, or otherwise changing a variable each time through the loop, right? This demonstration is to lead into for loops, okay? We have a condition, we have continuance, right, or a change of values in memory, and we have, right, condition, we have a start, stop, start, end, and continuation. That's kind of what we're getting into. In this listing, you can see that 3 steps are occurring. First, the starting condition is set. Counter is initialized to 0. The test of the condition occurs when counter is tested to see if it is less than 5. Finally, the counter variable is incremented. The loop prints a simple message. As you can imagine, more important work could be done for each increment of the counter. And then we're going to get into for loops, okay? So for loops, and stay tuned, we'll continue tomorrow. You have initialization, and then there's a semicolon for separation, then you have your test condition, and then you have your, well, they're calling it action, but it's basically increment or decrement. Depends on what you want to do. Okay, and then of course this is your block of code, right? All right, that is for loop in a nutshell. And I'm just going to go like that just to clean things up there. Okay? I'm going to leave it at that. That's what we're going to do next stream. Stay tuned. Appreciate you guys and gals watching. Eventually, we're going to get into maybe some more advanced loops. They're going to be fun. For loops are fun. They're used a lot, guys and gals. More common to see if-else statements, and it's more common to see for loops. All right? So that is it. Dun, dun, dun. Johnny with Whiskey Tango Sharp Coding. Appreciates you all. Thank you for the views. Much love, every single one of you. I will see you guys and gals in the next live stream. Wherever you are, have a great day, evening, new night. And I don't know, I had sandwiches on my mind for some reason. Anyways, you guys take care. Much love, and I'll check you out in the next video. For now, I'm saying peace out and peace.